Welcome back to another edition of Sports Junkies here at RacineSportsZone.com. Steve Sparky FIfer from 105.7 FM The Fan. He, of course, Gery Woelfel, columnist of the Racine Journal-Times. Time to do a little pack talk as we talk about the Jordy Nelson injury that has beset the Green Bay Packers. 3/5 of their offensive line hasn't practiced all week. Don't know if they're going to play in the game or not coming up on Saturday. Aaron Rodgers.
That's all we need to know. Doesn't matter.
See, that arrogance drives me crazy.
Absolutely.
It drives me nuts.
But it's true.
No.
Yeah, it is.
Listen to me.
He is without a doubt the epitome of a pro quarterback. There isn't anybody on his level. Nobody.
So now, are you convinced he's tough enough now? Are we? Just checking.
That hurt.
That hurt. Did that hurt a little bit?
Once again, a classic example. Now I see why pro athletes get so upset about being misquoted, having things taken out of context. Every pro athlete, I am with you from now on. I hate journalists. They'll do anything to sell a paper. They'll do anything to get a ratings up.
I was just wondering if you were backtracking yet.
Backtracking? I apologize. I didn't apologize. I explained it. I said if I misspoke, I misspoke. But I didn't misspoke.
No, okay.
Misspeak.
So let's talk about Jordy.
I did misspoke.
Yeah, let's talk about Jordy Nelson. Just quick here, okay? Jordy Nelson at the end of last year, I think, was viewed by a lot of people as a top 3, top 5 wide receiver in the National Football League.
Maybe by you.
Okay? Top 3, top 5. 13 touchdowns on the year for Jordy Nelson. Jordy Nelson, Aaron Rodgers, guy on the road. Aaron Rodgers, guy on the way to the game at home. They ride the game together. I mean, they're close. Nobody knows Aaron better than probably Jordy on this team. And now you take away, as I call it, the little blankie from Aaron. So now, who's going to be that guy? Because you're not going to have that same chemistry. Cobb is the closest, but then it's a second-year player, Devontae Adams, a rookie in Ty Montgomery, and a couple other guys who have been in the system, and Miles White and Jeff Janis, but haven't really played in regular season games. And now you're telling me, well, 12's got it, he'll be fine. I don't know. My personal opinion, I think Rodgers is going to get sacked more this year because he's going to hold on to the ball more because he doesn't want to throw the pick. And there's going to be more Aaron throws because receivers aren't going to be in the right spot. I think it could be a frustrating year for Aaron Rodgers, especially in the beginning. Can they get better as the year goes on?
Frustrating yes. What? They'll lose 4 games instead of 2?
No, well, I don't know how many.
I mean, define frustrating because, I mean, everybody, including myself. I mean, after the draft, I thought Thompson had the best draft that he's ever had. That was my personal opinion.
I like the draft.
I mean, those first 3 guys are all going to be impact players for him. After that, they conducted that draft, I wrote a column saying, see you in the Super Bowl. Right. I think they were clearly the best team.
But then Jordy Nelson got hurt.
But Jordy Nelson is hurt, and not only is you're talking, like you said, in your mind, one of the top 5 receivers in the NFL. It's a trickle-down effect because they don't have anybody remotely close to his talent level. Nope. If I'm Ted Thompson...
And you don't have a dynamic tight end either.
If I'm Ted Thompson, I go out and make a trade. I know.
Ted's never going to do that.
I'm sorry. Your window with Aaron Rodgers is closing. You got maybe, 4 or 5 years? And this year, they still have an exceptional chance to get in the Super Bowl. But they don't anymore with Jordy Nelson. Without Jordy Nelson. They need to replace him. And the other big question is, who's their tight end? Rodgers
is their tight end.
He looks like he's vastly improved. And if he is, that's going to really help him. But if he isn't, if he's the same old Rodgers we saw last year, that passing attack is going to take a hit.
But
and that's the bread and butter of the Packers.
Rodgers can catch the football.
Sure.
He's not going to run past anybody probably.
Right.
But he can catch the football. And as was told to me by Gary Ellerson, host of the Wendy's Big Show, former Packer running back, his route running is so good, that's how he gets the separation. He doesn't need that speed necessarily. Leroy Butler always says he always just finds a way to get open. Even though Rodgers didn't throw the ball a whole bunch last year. So maybe you take another step going forward with Richard Rodgers. Somebody's going to have to play.
It's interesting if you watch the game closely, the preseason game last week. They opened up with 3 or 4 receivers. Mm-hmm. They didn't even have a tight end on the field.
Right.
And that's where Nelson is so impactful. Again, if I'm Thompson, I look around, and teams obviously aren't going to trade frontline wide receivers now. But at some point during the season, he's got to pull the trigger and say, hey, I'm giving up a 4th-round pick or whatever.
Won't happen.
They got to. Because this team is too close to being a potential Super Bowl winner. If he lets that slip away, that's a disgrace to him as a GM.
Tell you, it's not going to happen. He's going to go with the same young guys and tell the coaches, coach him up.
And Packer Nation should be furious because when you're this close, you go for it.
I agree.
You don't sit there and say, yeah, you know what, we're going to be very good, but we're not going to try to be great.
But he doesn't do that. See,
it doesn't matter. He's got to change his mindset.
Well, he's not going to.
Now, when you're this close, you've got to change.
When Thompson retires and either Schneider comes back from Seattle to be GM, or they get Dorsey, or they promote Elliott Wolf or Alonzo Highsmith, whoever the next GM is.
By the way, Elliott Wolf is a really bright guy. Mm-hmm. I really am impressed with him. A lot of times you see, okay, he's the son of somebody, right? And granted, he's the son of Ron Wolf. This guy has GM written all over him.
So now,
I think he's going to be great.
Whoever it is, they will be more aggressive on that front than Ted. I promise you.
Absolutely.
Whether it's Schneider, Dorsey, Alonzo Highsmith, or Elliott Wolf, whoever the next general manager is, will be more aggressive.
Yeah, you know the other thing, too, with Ted Thompson? Ron Wolf just got inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, okay? I firmly believe that Ted Thompson will be inducted as well if he wins another Super Bowl.
Agreed.
I don't think there's anything about
Gary Ellison and I both said the same thing.
And Ted Thompson has been a true soldier. He's been loyal to the organization. And this is where, I'll tell you what, if I'm Ted Thompson, you become a little selfish and say, hey, I'm going to go out and get that really good receiver. We're going to make a run for another Super Bowl. And not only being selfish, it's the best thing to do for that organization. If they sit back and have a very good season, he wasted a chance at a Super Bowl championship.
I don't disagree with you at all. What about on the defensive side of the football so far of what we've seen there? Satisfied with what we've seen defensively or looking for more?
Well, I think it's a work in progress in the secondary, and that's what pro football is all about. You better have a secondary. I mean, everybody talks about how it starts up front in pro football. Not in defense, not anymore. It's become such a pass-happy game. Quarterbacks get rid of the ball so quickly.
But you have to have pressure on the quarterback.
But you don't
get pressure. I don't care if you've got 5 Deion Sanders out there. You can't cover a guy for 5, 6 seconds. You got to get pressure.
But with the NFL is set up now, these quarterbacks release the ball so quickly. They don't stay in the pocket for 6, 7 seconds anymore. I mean, the days of Art Starr sitting back there and waiting.
Well, he had a Hall of Fame offensive line.
Yeah, but I mean quarterbacks in that area. I mean, you wait.
Look at Troy Aikman. He had a Hall of Fame offensive line.
Look at Rodgers, for instance. He gets the ball. It's in his hands. A second later, it's out. How can a defensive lineman even get remotely close to him?
True.
From
that aspect, yeah.
Granted, every once in a while you're going to...
He holds on to the ball sometimes, too.
Exactly. But for the most part, I think that is so overrated. You got to have great cover guys today.
I'd always rather have a pass rusher. That's my number one goal on defense.
And that's what I like about the Packers now. I think Thompson's done a terrific job of accumulating defensive backs. They got 6 guys that can play.
And they're all young.
And the way the
Gunter from Miami, the undrafted kid, looks really good.
Yeah. And the first 2 draft picks were defensive backs.
Randall and Rollins.
They look promising. So I think that area, as the season goes on, they're going to get burned early because they're inexperienced. But I think as the season progresses, they're going to be really good. He
is Gery Woelfel of the Racine Journal-Times. I'm Steve Sparky FIfer. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Sports Junkies. A little pack of talk for you. We'll see you again next week right here at RacineSportsZone.com.